Peace and welcome, everyone. Today we're exploring a topic that's close to my heart, and I think it's something many of us have witnessed or experienced at some point: the danger of a superficial understanding of religion. While faith can be a powerful force for good, there's a real risk when we engage with it only at the surface level. The Quran, which serves as the foundation for so many of our beliefs and values, isn't just a book to be recited or rituals to be performed. It's a call to deep reflection, transformation, and sincere living. In this video, we'll dig beneath the surface to understand how a shallow grasp of religious teachings can actually distance us from the true spirit and purpose of faith. So if you've ever wondered why outward piety doesn't always lead to true compassion or justice, or how we can all strive for a more meaningful connection to our faith, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Before we dive in, let me share a little about why I chose this topic for today's video. The inspiration comes from my personal experiences with individuals who, despite presenting themselves as strict adherents and eager students of the faith, often fall short of embodying its values when it matters most. I've witnessed people who are seemingly devoted, committed to learning religious teachings, frequenting religious gatherings, and practicing rituals with diligence. Yet, when the moment calls for compassion, justice, or ethical conduct, their actions don't always align with the spirit of the faith they profess. This disconnect between outward piety and inner transformation is not only perplexing but also deeply concerning. It raises important questions. How can someone so immersed in religious practice miss the heart of what the faith teaches? What are the dangers, for individuals and communities, when religion is approached only on the surface? Having grappled with these questions myself and seen their impact firsthand, I felt compelled to explore them openly through the lens of the Quran. My hope is that this reflection will resonate with anyone who has encountered similar situations, and encourage all of us to seek a faith that is both deeply rooted and authentically lived. 1. The call to reflect and understand. The Quran repeatedly urges believers to ponder, reflect, and deeply engage with its verses. Superficiality is discouraged in favor of contemplation and sincere seeking. 47:24. Why do they not study the Quran carefully? Do they have locks on their minds? This rhetorical question suggests that true understanding requires an open heart and mind. The metaphor of locks highlights that barriers to comprehension are self-imposed or due to neglect. Simply reciting verses or performing rituals without reflection leaves one spiritually stagnant. 2. The perils of blind imitation. Superficial adherence often manifests as blind imitation, following religious practices without grasping their meaning or purpose. The Quran criticizes such attitudes. 270. When they are told, "Follow what God has revealed herein," they say, "We follow only what we found our parents doing." What if their parents did not understand and were not guided? This verse warns against uncritical acceptance of inherited customs. True religious life demands discerning whether actions align with divine guidance, not simply cultural tradition. 3. Ritual without substance. While rituals are an integral part of worship, the Quran cautions against empty formalism, acts performed without sincerity or understanding. 107:4. And woe to those who observe the contact prayers, Salat. 107:5, who are totally heedless of their prayers. Here, prayer is rendered hollow when devoid of attention, presence, and understanding. Superficial worship breeds hypocrisy and fails to nurture the soul. 4. Knowledge versus information. The Quran distinguishes between mere gathering of information and true knowledge. A superficial approach treats religion as a set of facts, not a living path. 37. They care only about things of this world that are visible to them, while being totally oblivious to the hereafter. This verse laments those who excel in surface matters, yet remain unaware of deeper realities. Genuine religious understanding requires looking past appearances to grasp the underlying truths. 5. Consequences of superficial understanding. A shallow grasp of religion leads to several negative outcomes, many of which are highlighted in the Quran. Division and sectarianism, misinterpretation, and shallow readings often give rise to sects and conflicts, as people cling to partial truths. Dogmatism and intolerance. Without depth, religious followers may become rigid, dismissive of nuance, and unable to appreciate diversity within their tradition. Loss of ethics and compassion. Focusing on rules rather than principles erodes the moral and compassionate core of religious life. 6. Quranic parables, urging depth. The Quran employs parables and stories to teach lessons that transcend literal meaning. These are intended to provoke thought and self-examination. He sends down water from the sky, causing the valleys to overflow. Then the rapids produce abundant foam. Similarly, when they use fire to refine metals for their jewelry or equipment, foam is produced. God thus cites analogies for the truth and falsehood. As for the foam, it goes to waste, while that which benefits the people stays close to the ground. God thus cites the analogies. This metaphor illustrates that the real value lies beneath the froth, substance over surface. The wise seek what endures, not what dazzles momentarily. 7. The role of reason and intellect. The Quran consistently appeals to reason, inviting believers to use their minds. Superficiality is depicted as blindness to reality. 8:22. The worst creatures in the sight of God are the deaf and dumb, who do not understand. To truly embody faith, one must strive to understand, question, and integrate Quranic teachings into one's worldview. 8. Sincerity and inner transformation. Religious engagement, according to the Quran, should lead to inner transformation, purification of the heart, growth in character, and proximity to God. Superficiality blocks this process. 26:88. That is the day when neither money nor children can help. 26:89. Only those who come to God with their whole heart will be saved. Here, the whole heart is the fruit of sincere, deep religious practice, not shallow observance. 9. The remedy, seeking depth in faith. The Quranic remedy to superficiality involves engaging with Scripture through reflection, study, and dialogue, and practicing rituals with mindfulness and intent, embodying the ethical and compassionate dimensions of faith, remaining open to learning and self-correction. From the Quranic perspective, the danger of superficial understanding of religion is profound. It threatens the integrity of faith, the unity of the community, and the spiritual well-being of the individual. By urging reflection, sincerity, and depth, the Quran charts a path away from shallow religiosity towards meaningful, transformative practice. In a world often content with appearances, the Quran beckons us to seek substance, to unlock our hearts and allow the light of guidance to penetrate within. May we heed the call of the Quran to go beyond the surface, to cultivate understanding, and to walk the path of faith with open minds and awakened hearts.